It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you
the clout chasing,
Holy shit, the face like
clip manipulating,
that clip is going somewhere.
rootin' hating, one and only
BadBoy Beaman. Today, we tell a story about the boy who wanted to be famous. It didn't matter how he got there, it didn't matter what route he took, he just wanted that fame and glory. That's right, we are going to be talking about ZLANER. ZLANER is somebody who tried their best to make it in the music industry, competing in talent shows in Canada. But even from there, he wasn't able to quite make it, although he still plays in a band, they do local gigs, but nothing special. But what else could he do to get that fame that he so much desired? He could become a streamer. So he started to stream. What did he stream? Well, he streamed Fortnite on Twitch TV. He didn't do very well. He wasn't hitting those numbers. He wasn't getting into the Fortnite World Cup, not once. So how else could he make it? Lo and behold, the release of Call of Duty Warzone hit us. And it hit us at a time where we were all stuck in our homes. Call of Duty Warzone was our saviour at that time. And I'm sure it was for ZLANER as well. ZLANER found himself playing Call of Duty Warzone. He switched over to Facebook Gaming, obviously got offered a contract of some sort, and decided to grow on there. But there was an issue. Dr. Disrespect at this point was looking for somebody to play with, because he wasn't allowed to play with anybody on Twitch, he wasn't allowed to play with anybody or speak to anybody or even be mentioned on Twitch. But ZLANER wasn't on Twitch anymore, he was on Facebook Gaming. But ZLANER was also signed with CAA, who is the exact same talent agency that Dr. Disrespect is signed with. What are the chances? Both of them start to play together, they link up, and hey, ZLANER blows up out of nowhere. He gets that fame he so much desired. One of the big questions as well that people are asking is, do the people he's playing with know what he's up to? Do they understand that he is using cheats? Surely they can't be blind to the fact that his aim is probably the most stickiest aim that exists in Call of Duty Warzone, and has been like that since the very early days of Verdansk. So, are they in on it as well? Are they covering it up for him? Surely not.
Shut the fuck up! He's not cheating, you're just bots!
Maybe they're not allowed to speak out due to NDAs, due to the fact that these guys are signed with the same agency, Doc, ZLANER, both signed with CAA. Surely they wouldn't be allowed to speak out against each other. Either way, something sinister is going on with ZLANER when it comes to Call of Duty Warzone.
I knocked one on the roof.
His aim was locking onto enemy chests in the early days of Call of Duty Warzone Verdansk, but people started to notice there was a pattern to his aim, so he switched it up. He started locking onto different locations. He even had bone scan effect on at one point. This is a guy who reminds me of Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can. He was always 2 or 3 steps ahead of the community, but not me. I was onto him from the early days. It was just a case of trying to prove to people that he was in fact cheating. Another episode of Our Streamers Cheaters. If he kept changing the way in which he was cheating, how would people believe me? If I said he was locking onto chests and then he changed it to head? If I said he was locking onto head and he changed it to bone scan effect? If I said it was bone scan effect and he changed it to limb lock? How would people believe me? How would people who don't understand the cheating softwares understand that he is just able to change these as and when he pleases? But for the people who were using cheats, they started to clock on to the fact that some of these large streamers were using some of the methods that they were also using. The cheats nowadays are so advanced compared to what they once were, which is why people are very confused by what's going on. They didn't understand that you could lock onto somebody's foot using aimbot. They didn't understand that you could actually have an aimbot that moves around the body. But they also didn't understand that you can actually toggle aimbot off and on with one keybind on your keyboard, one click of a button on your mouse, or even a foot pedal. So again, like I said, this guy reminded me of Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can, 1 step ahead of the game, 3 steps ahead of the game. It was just a matter of trying to find that moment that made people believe. And then we found it. This lagging player clip. Nobody had ever seen anything like it in their life. In the whole of Call of Duty Warzone, not once has anybody ever been able to replicate that moment. But there were many different moments from ZLANER. He in fact has thousands of moments of suspicion in his gameplay. Aim lock, aim snap, checking monitors on his left side, 2D radar callouts, shooting at people through walls with no prior knowledge of that enemy.
Tries to get the finish after using a sting glitch and snaps to the tent.
Okay. There were so many things going against this guy. However, he found one way out. One way out due to my issue, and it was my problem and it was my fault. I made a video using an extremely cheap PC, causing that video to have what can only be said to be a rendering issue. It had a pause moment within that video, and that actually allowed ZLANER to latch onto it, stating that I manipulated footage, saying that I manipulated clips to make him look like he had aimbot, when in fact, the one moment he chose was probably the least damning clip in the whole video. And I did not manipulate that footage, but many people in his community who wanted to believe he was legit latched onto the fact that I supposedly manipulated footage, but that was far from the truth. Even further down the line, when he was called out for things that he'd said on stream.
I was fucking, my aimbot was, my aimbot, my aimbot, my aimbot, my aimbot, my aimbot.
I made a video about that, literally because of what he said in there. But for some reason, he chose to address that as if he was being accused of wall hacks. Again, this guy was always steps ahead, but the only people he was manipulating was his own community throughout. He wasn't manipulating me, he wasn't manipulating my community, he was only manipulating his own. So if you are in fact a fan of ZLANER, you are a victim of his lies and deceit. This guy is somebody who will continue the lie, continue the hustle. He is somebody who wants that fame, and he can't bring himself to admit his wrongdoings in case he loses that. It even got to a point that he is so far gone, he is signed with an organisation, Optic Gaming. Why on earth would an organisation sign somebody who is so suspicious, who is under the spotlight and the microscope all the time because of their gameplay? Well, it makes good business sense from Optic's side, because this essentially is somebody who is regularly spoken about online, one of the biggest, most spoken about people in the Call of Duty Warzone scene, but it's not good. He's not being spoken about in a positive manner.
Our streamers cheated.
Many people believe that he's cheated in tournaments. Many people believe that he can't compete unless he's in the comfort of his own home, and that has also been proven. When he was at his brother's setup during a tournament where he was playing alongside other Optic Gaming content creators and pros, he wasn't able to drop many kills at all. He wasn't able to compete at a high level. This is somebody who rocks around a 5.9 to 6 KD, but at least he did at one point. And let's not forget the fact that this guy made a proposition to me to fly me out to Canada during a pandemic where there was so many restrictions in play, causing me to not be allowed to fly out at that time.
My proposition to BadBoy Beaman is that I will pay a flight.
However, when the restrictions were lifted, I accepted his proposition to go out to Canada and actually sit down and watch him play in a controlled environment. But then he declined that offer. Apparently it didn't stand anymore, even after recently stating on a live stream that it didn't have a time frame. So when I've accepted his offer, why on earth didn't he fly me out? Again, it was all smoke and mirrors. He stated this during the time he knew I couldn't fly out. The story of ZLANER hasn't even finished yet, but it is definitely something that I will continue on. This is a guy who has tried his best to claim everything against him to be lies. This is a guy who's tried his best to use smoke and mirrors to manipulate his own audience. And this is a guy who found the fame that he sought after so much. He is definitely someone to watch, and moving forward, when we go into new Call of Duty titles, let's see how he actually plays. Let's see if his cheats cross over to that game. ZLANER has been and always will be a cheater in my eyes. If you did enjoy the video, guys, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications. If you want to support the channel further, hit the blue join button today. Become a member of the Triple B fam. If you are on iPhone, there is a link in the description below if you want to join, because the blue join button doesn't exist on iPhone apparently. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.